We are here today, the Dutch Miller Auto Show, Wes Thompson.
Along with Chris
Miller. I'll say it for you. It's Chris Miller and Wes Thompson. But today, we're not talking cars.
No cars.
Not one car.
Not one car.
Are we going to go to at least one segment where we sell some cars?
Absolutely, positively not.
Now, why is that, Chris?
You want to
what
know
are
why?
we doing?
Wes, I want to let you and the viewing audience in on a little idea that I have, and I have a vision.
Tell me right now.
I have a vision that it is our obligation to give back to our community as much as possible. And we are heading into a time of the year. It's going into Thanksgiving, heading into Christmas.
It's the holiday season.
It is the holiday season.
It's the giving season.
It is the time to give back.
Yes.
And those of us that are incredibly fortunate really have an obligation to do so. And we are standing here on the door of the Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home. And this is something that's a subsidiary of the Children's Home Society of West Virginia. And the idea is that we have a local organization. And it's a local organization that provides an amazing amount of service and privilege to the needs of children. And it is our job to make sure, as a community, that we facilitate this. And what this home does is that it takes children that have really been through a really, really rough patch and are in a negative circumstance. And it provides a shelter for them so that way they can be placed into foster parenting, adoption, and or another organization that can give them everything that they need to uplift them from that terrible, terrible, terrible low and allow them to really set foot into fair ground in our society.
It's basically a place for them to be while their options are being explored.
Exactly right.
And it's a positive place.
It really is. And here's the thing though, organizations like this throughout the year struggle for funding. They struggle for funding for many, many, many different angles. And I think it's our role, Wes, to give back as much as possible. And where this started, by the way, is this all started when I met a guy named Mike Insko, who's a good friend of mine, who came to me and said, Chris, we have this children's home that really needs some help.
They needed a hunk of metal.
All it needed was a hunk of metal. And it all revolved around a fire escape. And there's this fantastic new facility that provides a gymnasium on the bottom, and on top, a computer room as well as an area to exercise.
Well, it could be.
Could be.
Right now, it's this empty room, and they have these tables inside that are filled with donated desktop computers that the kids can't even get the benefit from because they don't have a space for it. But if we could get a fire escape on the outside of the building, they can turn it into a computer lab. It becomes a learning center for these kids, and it just is one more thing that makes this place a really positive environment for this stay while they're in sort of a dire situation.
You know, we're talking about kids that, like we said, come from negative circumstances that aren't given these opportunities to begin with.
Right.
And you know, this is an opportunity for all of us in our community to take part and give back. And this is what I want to explain to everybody. This is something we all need to take part in. And right now there's a number at the bottom of the screen. It'll link you up to a call center and or go directly to our website. And on our website, there's a PayPal account.
Our website being
Dutch Miller Kia, thank you, DutchMillerKia.com. And you can make a contribution. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can only afford $10, make a $10 contribution. If you can only afford $25, make a $25
Chris, if you can't afford any of it, they can use your time.
Absolutely.
They need people. They need volunteers. It's not just about money. So if you want to get involved in a great charity and don't have money to do so, this is a great place to put your time
Now,
in.
Wes, I do want to mention this though real quickly. If you can afford $1,000, by the way, I'm looking at you, make that contribution. Go to DutchMillerKia.com, click on that PayPal account that links you to the Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home, and make that contribution, and let's help these kids start it off with getting that fire escape so they can utilize this amazing facility and have some things that they normally don't get a chance to have in their lives.
I think the way I said it earlier was, if you have an abundance of time and very little money, donate your time. But if you're one of these rich guys and don't have any time, send the check, man.
Please, we'll take it.
Give us some money. These kids will benefit. There's a lot worse you could do with your money, trust me.
Listen, at Dutch Miller Kia, we feel like it's our obligation to give back, like I said, to our community. And this is a project, because Mike approached me on it, that I really wanted to be involved in. And it's going to start with a fire escape, but it's not going to end there.
Right.
It's gonna end with generating as much possible time donation and monetary donation as we possibly can to help make this facility an amazing thing for kids that have struggled and need that opportunity and that step up so that way they can really take part in society.
And that's what this show is all about today.
Absolutely, it's all about giving back.
You know, you're talking about Mike Insco. He's been the key factor in bringing us on board.
Yes.
And we had a chance to get Mike involved earlier, and we got some notes from him. So we want to introduce you to him right now.
Absolutely, and when we're done with Mike, we're going to come back and talk a little bit. Plus, we're going to hear from everybody else at the Children's Home.
And some amazing stories.
Fantastic stories.
Just
Really
real
touch your heart.
positive stuff happening, not just here in this area and this community, but all over the state of West Virginia. This is just a really good thing, and you should totally get involved in it.
Mike, what attracted you to the Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home?
Well, Chris, I've been blessed in my life. I've gotten a lot of things. I've helped a lot of people, and through a family member, I got to experience the kids that have been in facilities and foster homes and this place exactly probably 10 years ago. So people have helped me, and I like to give back to the community and help folks, and I got a passion for the kids.
Mike, you and I, and our relationship here at the Children's Home all started over one thing. It started over a fire escape.
Yeah, a piece of metal, Chris. That's what it came about. I was at a function in Charleston, state meeting, and discovered that we could not utilize the upstairs of the gym, that we had a classroom. It was intended for a classroom or study room for the kids. Right now they're sprawled out on the floor. And it hit my heart. So I stood up and I said, that's my project. The fire marshal up here, Chris, won't allow the kids to use the upstairs without a fire escape. We can understand that. So what I did, I contacted a couple friends of mine, contractors, and a local organization, a local steel company here in town, who gave me a bid right over cost, and a couple friends that were contractors that agreed to help me put it in. Well, I found out what a task this was going to be with the amount of money. So I started game planning, had to go back and game plan, and that's when I decided to reach out to an expert. And I thought of you naturally, Chris. So I called you up and set up a lunch appointment. It touched your heart. Believe in timing. The timing was right for us.
It worked out, didn't it? You know, that's one of the other things that people don't realize is that not only do you get to give back to kids and make an impact on their life, but if you're a business and or an individual and you're looking for that tax write-off, you get a big tax write-off, not only from the federal level, but also the state level, right?
That's right, Chris. If you, on the state level, if you say you give $100, you get a $50 credit on your tax, state tax.
50% credit
50.
on your state tax for every dollar that you give. You get a 50% credit on your state tax for West Virginia. Mike, why don't you talk to me a little bit about the situational environment for these kids?
The kids up here, Chris, and in most of the homes here in the state and throughout the United States, our kids are in transition. They've come from a crisis, whether it be their fault or their parents' fault or their guardians or a school, but it's a temporary transition. They've seen some tough times in their lives, a lot more things than they've seen at the age of 14 and we'll see in our life. What touches my heart, Chris, is what we can do ourselves. We may not be able to cure them all, but we can go out and if I can give something back and help these kids, and when they live here, they may only be here 30 to 45 days on average stay here. But when they go there, when they leave here, if we can give them something that they can take with them, a nugget, I hope one day to be able to have someone shake my hand and tell me, "Hey, I remember you, Mr. Insco. You left a nugget with me," and that's.
The money that you and I are able to raise for this project, what all does it go to?
Most of the funds, Chris, I took on personally, selfishly for the fire escape. But as we've gotten this thing, get in discussions with you, and we've gotten to take this thing deeper, there's so much that we can do here. The house needs plumbed. There may be some plumbing work, a roof. It may need painted, a yard work, school books, computers, you name it, Chris. When you talk to the girls later, they'll be able to tell you.
How long have you been involved with this Children's Home?
2 years now.
2 years now?
Yeah.
What's it been like working with these kids?
It's an eye opener. It's been enlightening to see the different kids because of the transition they're in here from 30 to 45 days. You don't get to know them that well, but there's some kids that you just naturally connect to. And I've had a couple good experiences with some kids that have left here and that have gone on and called me back and asked, "You got any pizza joints in this town?" And I'll say, "Yeah, okay. Go get you a pizza," and it's been pretty cool watching them grow.
Would you say it's a very fulfilling experience?
Fulfilling, very fulfilling.
Awesome. What would you say is the one thing that you've taken away from your experience here?
My experience with the Hova Underwood Children's Home.
Yes.
the commitment and the passion that the people that do this every day, that they have, that don't get the recognition that someone in business like yourself or myself or people that we know, that what they come and give at 24/7 to these kids.
What do they give to the kids?
They give leadership, attention, the things that you don't put price tags on, commitment, friendship, mentorship, and just someone to lean on, a friendship.
Have there been any kids that you really got a chance to connect with?
I've connected with several, two that I can recall, and to this day, I haven't heard from her in about 6 months, but when she lands on her feet, she usually gives me a call and see if we have a pizza joint in the area. And
what do you find the most fulfilling thing about being involved with these kids?
the most fulfilling thing, Chris, is hoping to drop a seed with these kids, plant a seed that one day, because of the short time stay here, the 30 to 45 day average stay with these kids, that they may not get to meet another Chris Miller or a Wes Thompson or a Mike Insco. So if we can plant a seed with them about there is hope, that I'm successful, you're successful, that they can be successful. Chris, we just need to get people involved.
That's right, Mike. There's a website at the bottom of the screen, and anybody and everybody out there needs to use that device in front of you. Log online to that website, make a contribution to that PayPal account, and do whatever you can. If you can afford $25, do $25. If you can afford $2,500, give $2,500, and make these kids' lives a better place. It's time to get involved now. Don't wait. Let's make it happen.
Wes Thompson here with Chris Miller. Chris, where are we today?
We are at the Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home in Ona, West Virginia, and we are doing something special for our community. We are raising money for these kids that have been through a negative time in their lives and are in a temporary situation. This children's home provides shelter, food, clothing, all kinds of amenities.
Positive nourishment. I mean, it's just
and it really needs your help. So please, there is a website here at the bottom of the screen. You can get online to www.dutchmillerkia.com. There's a PayPal link online, and you can make a contribution if it's $25, if it's $2,500. These kids need your help, and we want to be able to facilitate
it's incredibly easy.
It really is.
Hi, I'm Wes Thompson here at the Rec Center at the Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home, and I'm with Chris Freeman, who's the Director of Communications with the Children's Home Society of West Virginia. Did I say that right?
Yes, you sure did.
Right. And so tell me exactly, you want to talk about sort of the outreach of this program, and it's more than just local.
Yes, it is. What we do, we have 13 locations across the state where we cover Parkersburg, we cover Charleston, Logan, Martinsburg, Wheeling, Princeton, Lewisburg, Beckley, and Romney, Hampshire County areas. Not only do we have foster care and adoption and our shelters, but we have runaway youth programs, we have teen pregnancy prevention programs, we have many birth to 3 right from the start programs around the state. What our main goal is with Children's Home Society is to find lifetime families for children. We want to take care of West Virginia's children. However, with this particular awareness campaign, here at the Ona shelter, we're looking for funds to help our computer labs. We're helping with a fire escape, which these kids they can't take advantage of the gymnasium right now without that fire escape.
Well, basically what it is, there's this big space that we've got that we have donated computers ready to go, stacked up on a table out here that the kids can't even take advantage of, because without a fire escape, it doesn't meet code and the kids can't be up there. So there's this empty space that's just completely unusable at this point.
And you're exactly right. Children's Home Society last year alone helped almost 13,000 children. With this type of funding and with these computers, we can help a lot more than that. And we can bring them in from other communities to serve them, to help their educational needs. We can just enhance their lives much, much better with this funding.
And how do we do that? You said it, funding.
Funding.
Folks, call in. Go to the link, get to the PayPal. It's easy, you can donate, whether it's just a little bit of money or if it's a lot of money. If you got a lot of money and very little time, then give some more money. It's easy, it's not a hard thing to do. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
That's exactly what we're here for, and that's why Children's Home Society has been here since 1896, taking care of West Virginia's children.
Well, I tell you what, I'm here with Chris Freeman. I'm Wes Thompson. Folks, we'll get back to the show.
Listen, we all have something we can give. We can give our time, we can give money, and it doesn't matter if it's $25 or $2,500. we all can make a commitment. And it really is our obligation to make our community a better place for these children. So I'm asking you to get up, not sit down and just watch this, but really get involved and make that contribution. Help these kids out, and let's make our community a better place.
Wes Thompson back here at the Rec Center with Jennifer Hill. Jennifer, you wear a lot of different hats around here. Go.
My first hat, I would say, is that I'm the events and volunteer specialist here at the site in Ona at the Underwood home. I'm also a licensed social worker. Part of my job is recruiting mentors and volunteers for our site, building awareness about the agency and the house here in the local area, and recruiting foster parents when I can.
Great, great. So one of the things we've been talking about today is, hey folks, don't get us wrong, we need the funding. Please call, get on the website, go to PayPal, donate, it's easy. But what we're trying to say right now is, if you don't have money to donate but want to get involved, you can call Jennifer and get involved with mentoring or one of the, basically we just need your time.
Yes. Not only do we need your time, but the kids here that live at this house and the children that we take care of. The children at the house, the children in the community really, really need the public.
And you and I were talking earlier and you told me, I mean, the kids really benefit and they know they benefit. They really appreciate the time spent.
Oh my God, I can't tell you. I work here, this is where my office is. I'm around the children 10, 12 hours a day. They know that I work here. They appreciate me being here. However, when someone takes the time out of their life to stop in, I can't tell you what it means to them. They understand that, and they've even said as much. I can't believe he came in, he wanted to talk to me. A lot of our kids have not gotten the attention that they thought they deserve, or that they do deserve. And when they see somebody taking the time out, they understand their value and their worth, and that's kind of what we're here for.
All right, Jennifer, you had a story you wanted to tell me.
Yes, about a kid that we had here, a young man actually, who stayed with us. Our children are typically here for 30, 45 days, maybe 2 months, 3 months, depending. Our house is ever changing. But one young man was here. We were able to keep him in his homeschool, which was really important because he was about to graduate and he was looking forward to college and he had plans, and we wanted to make certain in this house and our staff and our agency that those plans came to fruition. I saw him not too long ago. He's at Marshall. He's doing wonderfully. And he came up and he actually said...
A student at Marshall?
A student at Marshall.
Right.
And he actually said, if it weren't for the time that he spent at the house, there were a lot of things that probably would have fallen through the cracks for him. And that his time here and what we could do, and actually what some volunteers did for him, was what helped him get to that goal, help him meet the goal, help him to where he is right now, a successful, happy, well-adjusted young adult. Whatever you can do. Again, if it's bringing in a simple donation, whether it's food, this is a fully functioning house with 15 kids in it. It runs like any other house. We need paint. We need people to paint rooms for us. We need patchwork done. Again, we need gardening sometimes.
You have 4 refrigerators you need filled.
I
mean,
yes.
really.
We have teenage boys. They
You know how hard it is to keep your fridge filled at home. Now there's 4 of them.
And there's no donation that's too small that we won't be appreciated.
You were even saying earlier that I was asking about storage. Like, where do you put everything? And they said that you basically were telling me that bring whatever you can because we go through it so fast. It never has time to even build up. Bring whatever you can. We obviously the money, the time, but anything.
Anything, shampoo, conditioner, makeup for the girls. They love it.
Things that we all take for granted that are so easy. We just run out to CVS and grab a bunch of. Bring it.
It's all needed.
Yeah.
But most importantly, their time.
Jennifer, we're talking about having people volunteer their time. What types of individuals are you trying to get?
We understand that people have busy lives and they're trying to fit in a little bit of volunteer time. Anything and everything is appreciated. If you want to work one-on-one with a kid, there's an avenue. I can help you get there. If you only have an hour every 3 months to spend with us, trust me, coming in and talking to the kids, doing an arts and crafts project with them, reading to them, it's all worth it. If you want to come in and help us with our gardening, we have a couple of raised beds outside, and you have the time and you know plants, we sometimes don't. Our kids don't, and they also can learn from that. People who have life skills, how to change a tire, how to change your oil, how to shop for grocery. Those are the types of people that we want them to come in, teach those skills at any time, whatever time they have. When they want to offer it to us, we want you here. The kids need you here.
Well, I tell you what, folks, it's a great way to get involved. Just call Jennifer Hill. She'd be glad to show you the easiest way to spend your time here at the house. I'm Wes Thompson. We're going to head back to the show. Folks, so many great stories today that we've heard. Chris, tell them again how they can donate, how they can get involved.
Listen, right there is our website. It's www.dutchmillerkia.com. You get online, you click on our Children's Home PayPal account, and you make a contribution that's 100% receivable by this children's home here in Ona, and you do it. We all have a lot of time, but listen, you need to get up, get involved, and make this happen for these kids.
All right, we're back inside. Right now I'm here with Jake Ross. He's a permanency social worker. Now, did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now what is that exactly?
All of the social workers in Children's Home Society are permanency social workers, and that's a focus on our trying to achieve permanency for all children that come through our care.
Oh, okay. So, one of the things we're trying to do today is we are trying to raise money. How does raising money help you?
Raising money helps me because it gives me a lot more resources to get out and recruit foster parents and adoptive parents for our children, and therefore help with the permanency of those kids.
All right, has there been anything recently that's been overly rewarding for you, or something that when you go home you go, I'm proud that I was part of that?
Definitely. When I first started in this job, I had a home with 4 kids that were placed on the day that I started, and I just recently finalized their adoption, and that was a real come all together and really touch me moment.
So are they in a more like in a permanent situation?
Yes, definitely.
And that's really the ultimate goal. I mean, that's the best case scenario,
of
right?
Of course, with all of our kids.
So when that goes through, that's a jackpot for you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's great. Hey, thanks a lot for your time. Okay?
No problem. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chris Miller. A lot of us are very fortunate. We know where we're sleeping tonight. We've got meals on our table, and everything's really good. And we're in a position where we can give back to our community. Now, I want you to imagine that you're a child, and you're a child that's been through a crisis, and you need a place to come and stay. That's why we're here at the Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home in Ona, West Virginia. And we need your help. We need your help to make sure that this fantastic organization has enough funding for the rest of the year. I want you to log in, get online, and go to our PayPal link and make a contribution to this amazing organization, so that way you can give back to some of these kids that really have been through some bumps in the road and need that opportunity for the next leg up.
I'm sitting here with Mary with the Children's Home Society of West Virginia. Why don't you go ahead and tell us, Mary, about this special organization and the history behind it?
Oh, Chris, it's an amazing organization. The Children's Home Society has been caring for children for over 117 years. And every year we're so fortunate to have the opportunity to take care of over 13,000 children and families across the state. Our mission and our core belief is about permanency for children and promoting the well-being of all children.
You know, that's just fantastic. The money that we're really looking to raise here, with that website on the bottom of the screen that people can make a contribution for, what all is this money going to go towards?
Oh, Chris, so many wonderful things can happen with those contributions. You know, we're looking to, as you've mentioned, get our fire escape in our gym so our children can have a learning center out there, so they can be outside of the shelter facility somewhere else, you know, having the opportunity to have a computer learning lab and a place where they maybe go for some special counseling or some alone time. So that's one of our projects. And here at the Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home, there are so many things that contributions could be used for. It's a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year home for children, for 15 children. And there are many, many needs. Our children often come with very little, and we provide for their needs. The building itself, you know, periodically needs repairs, and you know, when you have a family that size with lots of staff taking care of these kids, there's a lot of wear and tear on the building, and things that need to be replaced periodically. We want our kids to have opportunities too, and sometimes there's just no extra money so that they can do other things and be out in the community, perhaps go to the library and different places and do things that other kids get to do.
Mary, how long have you been with the Children's Home Society of West Virginia?
I have been with the agency for 20 years.
I bet with the time you've put in, you've seen some really special stories.
Oh, Chris, I have. And you know, one of the things I like to say is every day there is a story. Every day there's a unique situation or a story with a child. And those stories stay with us forever. And Chris, I just had a wonderful opportunity the other day to go to a permanency hearing for a young man who at the age of 17 finally found a lifetime family. And you know, his situation was sad because he had been moved so many times in his life, and he just didn't feel like he would ever have that permanent family. And we were just so happy that that family came to us and then came to him. And to be there that day when he became a permanent part of that family was the most wonderful thing I think I've ever experienced. But those are the children you want to reach out to and you want to help. And we want our kids to not feel, you know, hopeless and that all things in life are bad. Because when they come to us, we want them to know, yes, things can be better. And yes, there are families to be found for you. And your life there can be so many opportunities for you. And give them hope.
You know, I bet you've been able to come in contact with some really special people and work with some really special people here. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
The Children's Home Society is very fortunate. All across the state, we have very dedicated staff. Many of them have been with us 10, 15, 30 years. Our most tenured staff is almost 40 years now. So once you come and you experience it and you work with our kids, you don't want to leave. It is the single most rewarding job. And Chris, I won't lie to you, it's very hard. It's a very emotional job. It pulls at your heartstrings, but you know, when I go home at the end of the day, I feel good knowing that we did something to make a difference for those children. And we have the most amazing folks all across the state. And right here in Ono, West Virginia, at the Huntington Shelter, we have so many of those people here taking care of our children.
What an absolute blessing.
It is, Chris. It truly is.
Listen, I want to thank you guys very much for your time in tuning into our Hova Hall Underwood Children's Home special infomercial. You know, you can sit around and do absolutely nothing. Or you can actually get up, get involved, make a contribution, reach out, donate your time, donate your money, and really do everything we can together to make our community a better place. And this doesn't go just to individuals. This goes to businesses, and this goes to anybody and everybody watching this infomercial right now. This is a terrific time of year to give back, and that's all we're asking you to do. We need you right now to give back to your community so we can make our amazing town a better place, and we can make these kids' lives that much better. It really is up to us, and I know you can do it. I'm Chris Miller for the Dutch Miller Kia Auto Show. Thank you so much for tuning in.